Radiohead, one of the most infamous and important bands of all time, raking in millions of dedicated fans all around the world. I listened to every single one of their albums for the very first time this year. You can hear about my experiences at length in my previous video. In this video though, I'm gonna be ranking every single original album track, which there are actually exactly 100 of, which is pretty cool. Let's get to it. At the bottom of the list, starting us off, is I Will, which is not even that bad of a song and just shows how consistent Radiohead really is, because if this is your worst song, you're doing pretty damn well. The reason it's here is because I find that it adds nothing to the experience of Hail to the Thief, and it can easily be taken off the album for a better entire album experience. Every song in the C tier from here on out is a song I'm pretty neutral about. Let's keep going. The Gloaming is actually a pretty unique and interesting track and a cool moment on Hail to the Thief, but I find the sound of it to just be a bit grating on the ears, so I can't really see myself coming back to it really ever. Now don't think that just because the bottom two songs on the list are Hail to the Thief tracks, that the album is bad. There are going to be many songs on this album that are going to be much higher. This one is a classic in the bottom rankings for Radiohead lists, and I actually don't even dislike this song that much. I find the looping production to be pretty pleasant, but it didn't need to be 4 minutes. 3 or even 2.5 minutes would have gotten the point across. This song could have been cut down, been a bit more tight, and it would have been a bit better, but whatever. First King of Limbs track, and listen. I like the guitar picking, okay, there are some nice vocal moments on the song as well, but am I really thinking to myself, you know what? I gotta listen to Morning Mr. Magpie today. I just gotta listen to the track. No, I'm not. I can do without it, and so can you probably. Yeah, I don't really care for the song. Every time I listen to it, I just immediately forget about it like 5 minutes later. I don't know, I just find it to be very mild. It's not a very grabbing moment on Amnesiac. I can see how some people will get something out of it. The production similarities to Paranoid Android are pretty cool, I guess, but let's just move on. Before making this video, I thought Lotus Flower would be a lot higher on the list, at least higher than most King of Limbs tracks. And you know, this song isn't bad. It has a certain charm to it, but it falls off pretty quickly for me as I keep listening to the track. This song is 5 minutes long, okay? You gotta remember that. It might have a nice chorus or a cool refrain, but are you really gonna listen to it for 5 minutes? Maybe you are, but me personally, nah. Similarly to Lotus Flower, this song is not bad, and its production is actually pretty damn cool. But I personally find the chorus just a bit awkward, and again, I don't think it really fills out its 4.5 minute runtime super well. Three Fingers for me is definitely the lowest moment on Kid A, which is my favorite Radiohead album. The song itself isn't even necessarily bad. It kinda has a Minecraft soundtrack vibe to it, which is not a bad thing at all, but it did not have to be almost 4 minutes. If you just cut down the song in half, you are golden. It's just too long. After Kid A's instrumental interlude, we have Amnesiac's instrumental interlude. And it's right above Three Fingers. Maybe it's not as grand and atmospheric as Three Fingers, but you know what? It's 2 minutes. It knows when enough is enough. really glassy and spacey track on a moon-shaped pool. Definitely not a bad moment on the album, but I feel like other songs on the album do production-wise what this song was trying to do much better, and you will see those songs much higher on the list. Dollars and Cents is another track that has some really high moments. The climax that this song reaches in the middle of it is great, but this song is another example of Radiohead stretching the length of some of their tracks further than they need to be. There is too much space in this song that is just unoccupied by anything. Some people will say I might be wrong on this one. When this song starts, I do feel like something is building. Radiohead begin painting an interesting picture in this song, but it just doesn't go anywhere. I hate sounding like a broken record, but this song did not need to be 5 minutes. At least with how little the beat changes and morphs throughout the track, it was just too long. Rounding off the C tier, we have Vegetable, the lowest ranking Pablo Honey track. And to be honest, this song is just one of those songs that sound nice when you first hear them, but it just feels so unessential in Radiohead's discography. I can never think of a situation where I would want to listen to this song instead of so many other tracks that are on the same album and that are on Radiohead's general discography. Vegetable is not bad, but it just gets left behind by everything else. Okay, so these were all the C tier tracks. The songs in the next tier are gonna be songs that I do like, but still don't think are too noteworthy in Radiohead's general discography. Starting off the B- tier, we got A Punch Up at a Wedding, which is a pretty decent song. The piano lead that repeats throughout the track is pretty catchy, and this song being written in response to criticism the band got for the Oxford performance is pretty funny, but other than that, it's nothing too crazy. First song of the first album. I liked this song quite a bit when I first listened to Pablo Honey, but upon revisiting this album, this song kinda lost the unique feeling it had when I first heard it. It's still a decent opener for Pablo Honey, but it's still my least favorite opener of any of Radiohead's albums. You know what I mean. Again, just like the numbers, this song is not bad and it doesn't derail a moon-shaped pool in any way, but I just don't feel like this song accomplishes anything that the other songs don't accomplish and surpass, so it ends up being a bit of an afterthought on a moon-shaped pool. Ripcord is another decent quick bop off of Pablo Honey. Similarly to Vegetable, it's not a bad song, but not something I would personally come back to very often. Morning Bell getting an alternate Amnesiac version is actually a cool idea. The twisted and hellish vibe that this version of the track offers is pretty striking, but with that being said, I don't think this version of the song really reaches the emotional peaks that the original Morning Bell does, which is why this version is here and the original is gonna be much higher. All the things you got. Thinking About You is a very simple piano-led stripped-back song on Pablo Honey. It's 2 minutes and 40 seconds, gets its point across and gets out. I like this song, but it's not beating anything higher than it. The Benz, title track of the album, is a track that has moments that I really like. The "Where do we go from here" sections at the start and at the end are really nice vocal moments for Tom, but the overall groove of the song is just a bit lacking. It feels a little cheap at times, and kinda all over the place, not in a good way. The Benz is not one of the best songs on the Benz. Peril is drum and percussion galore. This song is really bouncy and it's pretty fun. I can definitely see a track like this ranking much higher with just a bit more development and substance, but even this version is not too bad. In In my previous video on Radiohead and on first listen, this was actually my second favorite song on the King of Limbs. Since then, a couple of other tracks on the album had grown on me. I still definitely like this song. The atmosphere that Codex creates, just with a couple of piano notes, is pretty mesmerizing. And I genuinely feel like with a couple of instruments or synths added into this song, we could have had something really special that would rank much higher on the list. But the way it is right now is just a bit too stagnant to be on that level. The first appearance of In Rainbows, Faust Up, is kind of a quick little interlude track on In Rainbows that has a really beautiful climax at the end, but doesn't quite do enough throughout the entirety of the track to stand toe to toe with the other songs on that album. Coming back to Pablo Honey, we have Lurgy. The main thing that separates this song from the other album tracks that landed lower on the list is that this song carries more lyrical and emotional weight for me. It also just feels nice on the ears and catchy, definitely on the upper echelon of Pablo Honey tracks. Bloom, opening track to the King of Limbs. This song is steadily growing on me the more I'm sitting with it. Initially I had it a lot lower on the list, but it's actually quite a unique intro. The thing that is keeping it from being higher, I guess, is that it just feels very niche, and I just prefer listening to the songs that are above it. Give Up the Ghost is top 3 on the King of Limbs. Some really beautiful folky moments on this one. I kinda feel like one good listen of the song on a nice winter night can just immediately boost it up like 10 spots, but not today.
Better, happier, more productive.
Finishing up this tier of songs, we have Fitter, Happier, infamous interlude on OK Computer. A lot of people will kinda question, how is this skit higher than so many legitimate songs Radiohead made? To be perfectly honest, I feel like the emotional impact of this skit triumphs everything that came before it. This moment on OK Computer feels more essential to me than any song below this skit. It's just a really harrowing and powerful 1 minute and 58 seconds. Still a skit though, so it's not gonna be too high. That was the entire B- section. Every song in the next section is a song I genuinely feel like is solid, and I can see myself going out of my way to listen to sometimes. Starting off the B tier, we have You and Whose Army, a classic case of a track starting off slow and building up into something great. The climax of the song is beautiful, and even leading up to it, the track is pleasant. Nice Dream is definitely a noteworthy moment on the Benz. Some great and versatile production. It's dreamy, as you would expect, and I always remember those hard guitar riffs that are added at the second half of the track. It's a nice touch. I don't really come back to the song very often, and I wouldn't consider it one of my favorites on the Benz, but it's pretty undeniable and is still solid. Stop Whispering feels like one of the more ambitious moments on Pablo Honey. It's a track with a lot of changes in the production, the speed, the intensity levels, and I feel like for the most part, it pans out well. Good execution on Radiohead's part. So fucking special. The biggest song Radiohead has ever made to this day. Right after I listened to Kid A for the first time, which was my first introduction to Radiohead, this song just randomly popped up and I was just blasting it the whole day. This song is catchy, fun, and definitely withstood the test of time. As nice as Quip is, I feel like I Can't is an even better Pablo Honey track. It has one of, if not the best hook on the entire album, one of the only songs on Pablo Honey that move me lyrically. Tom's truly tragic delivery of the hook absolutely sells the track for me, and it's an enjoyable listen throughout. One of the weirdest and most random songs on Hell to the Thief, but man, I'm not gonna argue with ambiguously revolutionary lyrics and some great guitars. This shit slaps. The opener to Amnesiac. It is absolutely one of the catchiest moments on that album, some really soothing and pretty synths, some solid instrumental progressions and a hook that you can sing along to. Not much to complain about. From the beginning of Amnesiac, we move to the beginning of the Bends. Planet Alex offers plenty of memorable lyrical moments, production moments, and vocal moments. A good tone setter for the Bends. Yeah, this is one of the catchiest songs on the album. I'm pretty sure that when I first heard Pablo Honey, this was the one song that I kept replaying again and again and again, and it still holds up. The closer of Hail to the Thief, A Wolf at the Door, stands as one of the most unique moments in Radiohead's entire discography. They really don't have many, if any, songs at all that sound and move like this track. Tom's straightforward rambling in the beginning and the lack of any Kid A-esque effects give this song a really raw feel to it. It might not be one of my absolute favorites production-wise, but that doesn't take away the weight and importance that this song clearly holds in Radiohead's canon. One of the best introductions to any song in Radiohead's entire discography. Every time the beat for the song kicks in, I just get a rush. Undoubtedly, one of the best songs on Pablo Honey. Top 3. The Evil Brother of Creep, My Iron Lung is a very memorable moment on the Bends. Some of the hardest and roughest production ever seen when a Radiohead song appears here. And in some moments, it even gets a bit too rough and loud for me personally. But still, very fun track. I can just imagine the crazy mosh pits formed when they play this at live shows. Super fun. Don't leave me. This song is just a well-written, well-produced, and well-sung banger. Nothing more and nothing less. The raindrops, the raindrops, the raindrops, the raindrops, the raindrops, the raindrops. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this song. Sometimes I listen to it and just think to myself that it's whatever. But there are moments and days in which I hear this song and it truly feels brilliant. I guess this placement is a reflection of both. Yeah, this song inspires me to be more British. Tom really brings out that British energy here, and I find it to be really fun. This song is just a warm British hug on a Sunday afternoon. House of Cards is a perfect song to play in a long hike or drive in a snowy and cold area. It is low-key, slow, soft, but it paints an atmosphere that is fun to engross yourself into, and it definitely has a place on In Rainbows. 15 Step. Really solid opener for In Rainbows. I didn't think much of this track when I first heard it, but after hearing it in a bar one time, this song kinda just clicked, and I like it quite a bit now. From In Rainbows, we move to a moon-shaped pool. Burn the Witch opens up the album really well. Some of the folkiest instrumentation I ever heard on a Radiohead album. This song is grand, it's orchestral, and it's quite a unique and beautiful moment for the band. Life in a Glass House is a pretty crazy closer for Amnesiac. This entire album feels just dystopian and alien, and this song just pumps so much life into it with the intense jazzy instruments that make up the song. It is definitely one of the most memorable moments on Amnesiac, and a fitting closer for that album. You do it to yourself. You do it to yourself. I mean, this is one of the catchiest songs Radiohead has ever made. One of the best videos as well. Just fun, catchy bliss. On first listen of Amnesiac, there wasn't a single song that left an impression like this one. One of the creepiest and eeriest tracks the band has ever made, and it says so much while only containing 8 lines of lyrics. This is an Amnesiac essential. In my first reaction to Radiohead video, I named Reckoner as a track I don't really care about too much on In Rainbows. If it wasn't obvious already, a lot of your opinions can change when you let tracks sit and you listen to them again. I wouldn't say Reckoner is quite up there with my favorites from this album, but the beauty of this song has dawned on me finally, and it is absolutely not an afterthought on In Rainbows. I was wrong in my initial assessment. There was nothing we could do. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another bop on our hands. I see this song falling much higher on people's personal lists, so maybe for some this is too low. I like this song quite a lot. I think it's fun and it progresses well from one point to another, but there are just a lot of songs I like more. The last song in Radiohead's discography, True Love Waits, really encapsulates the feelings and emotions that guide the entire album from the beginning, and it wraps up that amazing album in the way that an amazing album deserves to be sent off. And with that, the B tier is finished. Next up, we're gonna move to the A tier, where every single song is a great one. They have all moved me in some way, and I can see myself listening to all of them again and again and again in the future. Starting off the A tier, we have Karma Police. We haven't seen OK Computer in a while. Every single song on that album is amazing, and they all hold an important place in Radiohead's discography. Karma Police is a really good song about letting our judgmental natures get the better of us and turning us into bitter people looking for a person's worst. Just like with Reckoner, in my original video on Radiohead, I named this song to be one that I'm not really fully sold on. Safe to say that making this video cleared that up. This song is great, super unique, a bit eerie, catchy, pleasant, just another amazing moment on OK Computer. Scatterbrain is such an underrated gem off of Hail to the Thief, so packed with emotions, and those guitars and drums are so crisp and beautiful. What an amazing little track this is. Identikit is one of the craziest and grandest moments on a moon-shaped pool. The progression from the acoustic live instrumentation at the beginning of the track to the synth-heavy, dreamy and grand closing half is incredible. Truly an amazing moment on that album. One of the nastiest and stank face inducing beats ever present on a Radiohead song. This song just puts you in a trance, and for 3 minutes and 53 seconds you are transported into a dark and grungy universe, and it's truly a delight. Another song on Hail to the Thief that deserves more love. This song appears right after Daydreaming, and it's such a great way to push the album forward after a track like that. This song makes me appreciate existing in this world, and it's one of the most heroic songs Radiohead has ever made. You kinda feel like a superhero making a grand entrance. Amazing song. first real Kid A track on the list. I think by now it's quite obvious how much I love that album. I think every single song on it is amazing, and In Limbo is of course not an exception. As expected, this track really puts you in a state of limbo, creating a dense but easy on the ears landscape that is ambient and truly beautiful. I have a pretty unique story with Sulk. Most people probably wouldn't expect this song to land so high, but I don't think any song Radiohead has ever made hit me as hard as this song on first listen. Being busy in your personal life and constantly living in a bubble that makes you not really fully appreciate your parents every time you see them is a really scary thing to think about, because there will be a day that they won't be here. And that realization hit me really hard when I first heard this track. Are you hungry? Some of the best harmonies and gorgeous instrumentation present on Hail to the Thief, plus a really cool intensity shift at the second half, make a song that is very memorable and deserving to be this high on the list. Apparently some people don't really like this song, much because of the weird direction the lyrics go, but that never really bothered me personally. No alarms and no surprises. Really catchy and solid track on OK Computer. One of the most popular songs the band has ever made, and it kinda just speaks for itself. Great moment on Hail to the Thief. This song speaks on faith and the importance of not thinking that everything you believe is necessarily real. One of Tom's best sung choruses and great production throughout. Back to back Hail to the Thief tracks, some of the trippiest production ever present on a Radiohead song you get right here. It's definitely a bit of a slow burner, but when it really picks up and those ghostly vocal notes start meshing with the beat, it's really something special. One of the hardest rock songs Radiohead has ever made, probably my most listened to song on the bands. I just find it ridiculously catchy, and I can't help rocking my body every time that damn chorus kicks in. What a classic. Sail to the Moon is uniquely gorgeous. There are not many songs in Radiohead's discography that have harmony like this. Amazing pianos, amazing guitars, the softness of the drums and Tom's incredible vocal performance. This song is just jaw-dropping. It's incredible. The iconic and incredible outro to OK Computer. The Tourist is such a beautiful and pristine way to end off that record. It's very good. Number one track on the King of Limbs, the closer of the album, Separator. Definitely one of the most underrated songs in Radiohead's discography. The constant march forward that is fueled by those drums just to reach the climax, which is genuinely one of the most special moments on any Radiohead song. I hope people don't miss this track just because it's on an album that is considered to be Radiohead's worst, because this song deserves love. From the best King of Limbs track, we move to the best Pablo Honey track. I listened to Pablo Honey for the first time when I was on vacation with my family, and out of every single song on that album, this was the one that I couldn't stop replaying again and again and again. That guitar solo on the first half of the song will forever be one of my most memorable moments out of any song Radiohead has ever made, and I have no doubt this song deserves to be at the top of that album. Another classic example of a song that starts off slow and low-key and builds up into something incredible. Exit Music is another instance of OK Computer brilliance, and another amazing song for the books. Let's move on. The Closer for the Bends is yet another amazing final album track for Radiohead. This song can be viewed as one of the most depressing and existential ones the band ever came out with, and at the same time it can feel like one of the most liberating and hopeful tracks you will ever hear. Classic rendition of "we're all gonna die anyway, everything is gonna burn, and that's just what it is." From an outro we quickly move to an intro, and an amazing one at that. Airbag is one of the most hard-hitting intros the band has ever made, and it being as dramatic as it is, for me personally, is fun, and it makes the world of OK Computer form in a more powerful way. The thing is that this intro is not quite as hard as this intro, baby, the best song on Hail to the Thief, the opener to that album, and the song that will top our A tier. 2 plus 2 equals 5. 1984 is an amazing book, and obviously this song points at the totalitarian manipulation themes that are discussed in that book. But even outside of that, the production, the passion in Tom's vocals, how replayable the song is, these are all traits that easily make up a Radiohead classic. And that was the A tier. We discussed some amazing material. From here on out though, we will move on to the S tier. Every single song here is an important core Radiohead moment that defines their greatness, and the songs that I think are their best and most special. Let's get to it. Starting off the S tier, we get Present Tense. The reason this song lands so high is because I believe this to be one of Thom Yorke's best vocal performances ever on record. He is able to seamlessly move the emotion of the track to his voice and flow with it, creating harmony that defines this song and this album as a whole. I feel like we haven't seen In Rainbows in a while. All I need is simply perfect. I don't even have anything special to say about this song. It's just perfectly written and perfectly executed, and yeah, it's up there. It's one of their best. This song just feels like the definition of less is more. Every note, every word that Tom speaks, the gaps between his lyrics, nothing is rushed here. It's soft, it's quiet, but even so, every single note and word and instrumental progression tugs at your emotions and feels perfectly placed. This is what a perfect song is. Another perfect song on the Bends. Black Star is genuinely one of the best written tracks the band has ever made. It's just so powerful, and it feels so vivid and real. You can relate to what Tom is saying, you can relate to his feelings, and when I really think about a Radiohead tragedy, this is truly the one. Lucky is the anime protagonist, Marvel superhero, main character theme. Absolutely the most heroic and epic song the band has ever made, and it's very catchy and very well produced. Finally, some Kid A pops up. It certainly took some time, but we're gonna see a lot of this album here. Motion picture soundtrack is simply a perfect outro for that album. Really some Disney film type shit, just awesome stuff. Incredible. Best song on Amnesiac, one that is really loved by many, and I know a lot of you will say it should have been even higher. To be perfectly honest, I didn't quite understand what was the hype about this song when I first heard it, but listening to it with a better audio system and really getting close and personal with the song kinda unraveled its brilliance for me. Next to pretty much everything on Amnesiac, this song just feels massive. It's like the clear-cut best song on the album, and it's not even close. This is probably a very unpopular take because I don't see this song getting much of any love, and if anything, some people consider it to be one of the worst songs on the album. This song feels like Minecraft soundtrack made into a movie infused with Tom York's Ghost, one of the spaciest songs Radiohead has ever made, and as a massive fan of ambient music, this song just does it for me. I love it so much. Kid A is another ambient cut and another song that I feel like is a little underrated because I don't really see a lot of people put it up there as one of Radiohead's best. This song just has some of the most ear-pleasing production out of any Radiohead song and an amazingly epic climax at the second half.
When I'm at the pearly gates.
My favorite Radiohead outro out of all of them, Videotape, is simply a beautiful and emotional trip into Tom York's mind. One of his best vocal and lyrical showings ever, and the melancholy piano playing at the background really enhances everything that Tom is saying.
Glassy-eyed light of day.
Glass Eyes is simply peak Radiohead instrumentation, carrying out a glassy, wintry, and stunning tune that really defines the Moonshaped Pool and is absolutely inseparable from it. Super essential track and super impressive. The poster child for Radiohead top lists. Paranoid Android consistently ranks at the top 5 and even top 3 for people, and I can absolutely see why. It is one of the most ambitious, multi-layered, and massive moments in the band's entire discography, and I absolutely agree with everyone that says that this song is incredibly special and impressive. The reason it didn't go even higher on the list is simply because the tracks above it are more important for me personally, and I find them to be even more moving and even more impressive. This song being right above Paranoid Android will piss someone off, but yes, I think this is one of the hardest hitting songs, one of the catchiest songs the band has ever made, and I'm not ashamed of putting it this high, okay? This is an amazing banger, amazing. The original Kid A version of Morning Bell is a great moment on Kid A. It carries on the alien and foreign feel of the album while also staying a bit close and personal to Tom's vocals. This song kinda feels like a half alien, half human ballad, and it's executed on the highest level. I mean, that bassline speaks for itself. It's the national anthem, for God's sake. Just outside the top 10, we have what is, in my opinion, Kid A's hardest hitting song that in some ways goes on the more traditional rock lane. Of course, it's on Kid A, so it's gonna be nothing short of stellar. Vocals are catchy, instruments go fucking nuts, progressions are incredible. It's Kid A, it's Radiohead. Let's get to the top 10. Kicking off the top 10, we have In Rainbows' undeniably gorgeous Nude. None of you are questioning why the song is so high. Everybody understands how good this song is. The second best song on In Rainbows, strings, bass, guitar, a very obvious and incredible masterpiece. Moving on to the best song on the band's and what I personally view as Tom York's best vocal performance of all time. This song is pure perfection. Tugging at your heartstrings, no crazy bells and whistles, no Kid A effects, no aliens anywhere. This is just a raw, fucking beautiful song. Easily my favorite on that album. You know, I was wrestling between this song and the one above it for why is really my favorite song on a Moonshaped Pool. Full Stop ended up slightly losing to that one, but don't get it twisted. This is probably the most underrated song Radiohead has ever made. One of the craziest, noisiest, psychedelic almost experiences you can have listening to a Radiohead song. Full Stop is truly a trip in the best way possible. Please make sure to give the song another listen because there is greatness here that people are not appreciating enough. Second best song on OK Computer, Let Down, is simply one of the best produced tracks of the entire Radiohead era, all the way from Pablo Honey. That entire phase of Radiohead, if you can call it that, is really well defined by this song. From the production choices to the topic of the song, this just screams Radiohead. And I genuinely believe Let Down is one of the best things the band has ever made. This is that one. The best song on a Moonshade Pool, just slightly out of the top 5, Daydreaming. I believe this to be the best produced track on that entire album. It is uniquely breathtaking and blissful. This is the kind of stuff you can really cry to because it's so beautiful. And man, the way that beat builds and progresses, this feels like something that needs to be in a museum. What a track. Kicking off the top 5, we have Kid A's Darling. This song really feels like the song on that album, if it makes sense. It feels like the true peak of everything that this album was building. The cold and alien universe, the abstract lyricism, it all comes together here into one of the most important and one of the best songs the band has ever made. This song, man, shit. How to Disappear Completely is its own universe. For 6 minutes, nothing else exists. It's just you and the universe that this song creates. There are a lot of things you can point out about this song. The constant soft guitars, the bass that is going up and down your ears, Tom's vocals that really let everything breathe inside the track. But to be honest, you just gotta listen to it, because no words can really transmit what this song does. Into the top 3 we go. Subterranean Homesick Alien is the best song on OK Computer, and it was the best song for me from the very first time I listened to that album. This is the best banger Radiohead has ever made. The songs above it are a bit more emotional for me, but when it comes to banging your head and going fucking crazy, there is nothing better than this. Truly peak music right here. The opening synth to this song is one of the most iconic moments in Radiohead history for a reason. When I listen to this song, I feel like everything around me is morphing, kind of like entering a Jujutsu Kaisen domain expansion. It is simply the best intro that album could have asked for, and that's why I also believe this song to be the best one on Kid A. With that being said, let's get to what you've all been waiting for. There can of course only be one number 1, and that is Weird Fishes. I started posting videos on this channel about 6 months ago. I'm never gonna delete any of them, even the ones where I really didn't know what I was doing. I still don't, but I'm still proud of everything I put out, even the things that are far from perfect, because I made them. Songs like Weird Fishes inspire me as a creator to keep going and getting more ambitious with the things I create. If I can one day wake up and know that I created something that is as great as this song, I really feel like in some sense I made it. One of the best songs I ever heard in my life. And that was that. The S tier is finished and the list is finished with it. Getting into Radiohead's music this year was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to be listening to more new music and discussing it in this channel, as well as doing some other cool stuff. So if you like this video, you can stay tuned. Orange out.